This is the biggest OTA update to hit Marvel Snap. One that even if you enjoy the nerfed archetype, objectively, you'll agree it's for the betterment of the game. Okay, let's jump in. Bounce has been dominating the meta in recent weeks, so here's how they've tweaked it. And might I say, it's a tricky balance, but I think they've pulled it off quite elegantly. Katie Pride, the linchpin of the Bounce archetype, is now a 1-cost, 2-power card that gets +1 when returning to your hand. So they increase her base power, but reduce how much she grows when returning to your hand. Now that's a net nerf, because you could routinely get her up to 8 power before. Now she only maxes out at like 6, but on the plus side, her base has increased, so if you pull her on a later turn, she still has value. This is also kind of an indirect nerf to Bast, by the way, because with Bast's effects on Kitty, setting Kitty's power at 3 is now only a net gain of 1. Hitmonkey. He's now a 3-2, his ability stays the same, and similar to Kitty Pryde, Bast's benefit to Hitmonkey is now also just a net gain of 1, since Hitmonkey's floor is now 2 power, right? By making him cost 1 more, it does somewhat limit his efficiency in the early game, thus affecting his total power later, but as a 3 cost, he's also now part of the Silver Surfer Club. Spider-Ham is now a 2-2. Ability stays the same. So yeah, honestly, I think one of the big things about Peter Porker over here is his ability to show you what card gets pigged. Apart from disabling that card, the intel you get from revealing that card, that needs to be nerfed, and I'm willing to bet that's coming in a future patch. For now, he's gonna be a little bit harder to play, and bounce, costing 1 more than before, right? But he does get a 1 power buff, which, let's face it, who's playing Spider-Ham for his power? But 1 power should never be slept on. Hey, how many times have you lost the game because of 1 power? Onto the buffs. Phoenix Force. This one might just be the first season pass card that they've changed so soon after the release, but definitely warranted. Aside from day 1 of release when no one knew what to expect from it, it's been pretty weak. Okay, so the new Phoenix Force is now a 4-5 with the same ability. That's 1 less cost, 1 less power, but ooh, so much more flexibility. Now you have an extra round to play out your combos. For example, if you resurrect multiple man, that's an extra round to move and clone multiple man, giving you an extra 8 power on the board. And speaking of that 8 power, with Phoenix Force dropping down by 1 power, the resurrected multiple man is now 8 power, which is under Shang-Chi range. Gotta love it. Also, there's Zabu synergy now, cause 4 cost. Ghost Spider. She's now a 1-2, dropping 1 cost and 1 power, which is a great change for her. Now you have extra energy to play on later turns, right? And not just for move decks too, she's a great psych out card to pull your big boys out of the way of a Shang-Chi, or bait your opponent into abandoning a lane that you played Iron Man into, only to yank it into another lane on the last turn, while still being able to play a 5 cost on top of that. You just gotta watch out for that Killmonger now. She's the 1 cost. Living Tribunal is now a 6-9. Nice. Meaning 3 extra power, that means 1 per lane spread out. It's not nothing, but it still remains to be seen if Living Tribunal will get more play because of this. I mean, he's a tough card to build around, because you're essentially having to win 3 lanes instead of 2. Magic. Okay, this one is huge. Expect to see a lot more Magic being played. And of course, just in time for her beautiful variant, huh? She's now a 3-2. She costs 2 less and her power drops by 1. Now the thing with Magic is, at 5 cost previously, she kind of felt like a waste to play on turn 5, whereas as a 3 cost, you now have the option to play her on turn 3, 4, or 5, together with other cards. I mean, her power drop is negligible. I mean, we play her for her ability to create Limbo, or that 7th round, right? Which of course gives combo heavy decks that extra precious round to draw the card they need or play out the combo they want. Hey, you'll be seeing a lot more of her for sure. And oh, she's a 3 cost now, which means she's also part of the Silver Surfer Club, and Surfer decks are pretty combo centric. Plus, that also now frees up your turn 5 for Sarah, giving you that crazy miracle turn 6 and 7. So hey, ultimately this is a big W for Marvel Snap. The devs are clearly listening to the player base and not afraid to take action if the meta is leaning too heavily towards one archetype, in this case Bounce, but in a way where it doesn't break that meta completely. Hey, you know, I'm a big fan of the Bounce archetype, man, and even I feel like these changes are fair. And ultimately, it's healthy for the game to have many viable archetypes in the meta instead of just the one dominant one, right? And by and large, Second Dinner have been really on the ball with these updates, which is why it seems like I'm always saying